Alright, so you've decided to play Engineer in Battlefield 6, huh? Excellent choice. This class is way more than just the guy fixing tanks in the background. Sure, repairing vehicles is part of the job, but engineers are absolute chaos makers when used right. Between blowing up enemy armor, setting sneaky traps, and using that EOD bot to troll or support teammates, there's a lot more depth here than most players realize. Now, with all the new gadgets and that revamped field spec system, the Engineer class feels completely fresh. You can build your loadout around anti-vehicle dominance, area denial, or even support-style gameplay. It's like Battlefield finally said, you know what? Let's give engineers the spotlight they deserve. And honestly, they've earned it. In this video, we're diving into the best engineer loadouts you can run in Battlefield 6. Whether you want to destroy everything that moves, lock down key areas, or just keep your team's armor rolling through the front lines. Let's break down the top gear setups, gadgets, and perks that'll turn your engineer into a one-man wrecking crew. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! When it comes to blowing up tanks in Battlefield 6, nobody does it better than the engineer. The class has always been the backbone of any good squad, and in this game, that's more true than ever. If you are the kind of player who likes to ruin a tank driver's day, then this anti-tank engineer build, also known as the Tank Hunter, is exactly what you need. First, let's talk about your weapon choice. You want something that can handle mid to long range fights because you'll be spending a lot of time keeping distance from the chaos. A solid assault rifle or designated marksman rifle works perfectly. You do not need to go full sniper mode, but you should be able to defend yourself while you line up that perfect rocket shot. Now for the real fun, the rocket launcher. The RPG-7V2 is hands down the star of this setup. It might look old school, but it hits like a truck, and best of all, it does not need any kind of target lock. That means you can flank, sneak behind a tank, and land a perfect shot on its weak points. Unlike the MBT law, you are not locked into chasing moving targets. It is pure skill, and when you hit that sweet rear armor shot, you can almost hear the tank crew panic. If you are just starting out as an engineer, you might not have the RPG unlocked yet. The M136 anti-tank launcher is still a great option. It is guided, reliable, and easy to use. But once you unlock the RPG, trust me, you will not want to go back. The freedom to aim where you want and deal consistent damage makes it incredibly satisfying. Gadget number 2 is where you can adapt to your team and the enemy situation. The anti-vehicle mines are the classic choice, and they work perfectly for area denial. Drop them near choke points, bridges, or behind cover that vehicles love to roll past. If you notice that enemies are clearing your mines too easily, swap them out for acoustic sensor anti-vehicle mines. These sneaky little devices can be placed off-road, and they fire projectiles straight from above. It is like setting a trap that tank drivers never see coming. Grenades are simple but effective. Stick with the anti-vehicle grenades. They might not look flashy, but a well-thrown one can finish off a smoking tank or buy you time to reload your launcher. Plus, they are great for scaring off light vehicles that try to rush you down. The field spec you will want to run is anti-armor. It enhances your vehicle damage output and keeps your role focused on what you do best, destroying anything with wheels or wings. You are not just helping your team by taking down tanks. You are also forcing enemy pilots and drivers to play more cautiously, which changes the entire flow of a match. Now, sometimes you will run into a match where the skies are just filled with attack helicopters and fighter jets. That is when you should switch things up a bit. Instead of the RPG, grab the SLM-93 Aspire launcher. This thing is an anti-air nightmare. It might not hit as hard against tanks, but it will make any pilot think twice before flying too close to your squad. If your squad has recon players using laser designators or tracer dart gadgets, you can even pair up with them and use a guided launcher like the Glaive for long-distance tank hunting. This kind of teamwork can absolutely dominate the battlefield, especially when you coordinate strikes on enemy armor columns. At the end of the day, playing as the Tank Hunter engineer is about controlling the pace of the game. You are not just blowing up tanks, you are shaping the battlefield. You make vehicle players scared to move forward, and that gives your teammates the room they need to push objectives. Whether you are sneaking behind enemy lines to plant mines or landing perfect rocket shots from a hillside, You are the silent powerhouse keeping your team in control. So gear up, find a good flank route, and remind those tank drivers that no armor is safe in Battlefield 6. The support engineer in Battlefield 6 might not be the flashiest role on the field, but make no mistake, you are the reason your team's vehicles stay alive long enough to dominate. This build, known as the Vehicle Support Crew, is all about being the reliable teammate that every tank driver dreams of. You are the mechanic, the guardian, and occasionally, the person who turns an entire losing match around just by keeping one tank rolling. Let's start with your weapon. You are not here to top the kill charts, but that does not mean you should ignore your gun entirely. A medium to long range rifle, something accurate and stable, is ideal. You will often be hanging around vehicles, so your weapon's job is to keep infantry threats at bay while you focus on your main task, keeping your team's armor alive and functional. Your first gadget slot goes to the anti-tank rocket launcher. You might think that sounds contradictory for a support role, but trust me, it is not. When your tank gets pushed by enemy armor, a few well-placed rockets from you can turn the tide of the fight. You are not trying to solo kill a tank, but you are definitely making sure your team's vehicle wins those duels. Every bit of damage you deal buys time for repairs and forces the enemy to back off. For your second gadget, you have two great options: the Vehicle Supply Crate or the EOD Bot. The Vehicle Supply Crate is the easier choice. Just drop it near your team's tank, and it automatically rearms their weapons. It is perfect for long-range tank fights where your driver wants to sit back and shell the enemy without running dry. The key is placement. Always put it behind cover so it does not get blown up mid-fight. If you want to take your support game to the next level, though, the EOD Bot is where things get really interesting. This little remote-controlled robot lets you multitask like a pro. You can leave it parked next to a friendly tank to handle repairs while you fight off infantry, or drive it across the map to fix another vehicle entirely. It is like having a second pair of hands. Just make sure you communicate with your driver so they do not drive off without you. Your grenade choice should be mini frag grenades. They might not hit as hard as standard fragmentation grenades, but they make up for it with range and quantity. You can throw them farther, and you get more of them per life. Use them to flush out infantry hiding behind cover near your vehicle, or to clear enemies trying to sneak up with C5 explosives. It is all about keeping your repair zone secure. Your field spec should be Combat Engineer. This specialization boosts your repair efficiency and helps you get vehicles back into fighting shape faster. It is practically mandatory for this build. With Combat Engineer, you can bring a smoking tank back to full health in seconds, especially if you and another engineer are repairing at the same time. One small but important tip: team up with a support player if you can. Ask them to drop an ammo crate on top of your tank. That way you can constantly resupply grenades and rockets without leaving your repair spot. The synergy between support and engineer is ridiculous when done right. You'll both rack up points, and your tank driver will love you for it. When things get heated, do not forget about your thermal overdrive ability. Activate it whenever your friendly vehicle is under heavy fire. It helps it resist more damage and gives you time to either finish your repairs or let your driver retreat. This one ability can mean the difference between holding a capture point or watching your armor explode. At its core, the Vehicle Support Crew Engineer is the unsung hero of Battlefield 6. You might not always be on the highlight reel, but every time your tank crushes through enemy lines or shrugs off a barrage of rockets, that victory is partly yours. You keep the gears turning, the shells flying, and the war machine alive. So grab your toolkit, stay close to your armor, and remember, a good engineer does not just fix vehicles, they win battles without anyone even noticing. You might be wondering, why not use submachine guns? Aren't they the engineer's signature weapons? And technically, yes, they are. But when you're playing the Vehicle Support Crew role, SMGs just do not fit the job. Their effective range is simply too short for the kind of engagements you'll face when supporting vehicles. Tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and other armor usually operate in open spaces, where most fights happen at mid to long range. Running around with an SMG means you'll be nearly useless once the fight moves beyond close quarters. Instead, you'll want something that lets you contribute from a safe distance while still keeping your repairs going. Machine guns, designated marksman rifles, or even sniper rifles are all far more practical in this setup. They allow you to pick off infantry that threaten your vehicle without having to leave cover or push too far forward. You are not trying to rush objectives. You are maintaining the front line's backbone. Leave the close-range fights to assault players and focus on what the engineer does best, keeping the armor alive and the enemy vehicles burning. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.